Let's stick with COVID a little bit. On Fox News, right after praising COVID vaccines, Greg Gutfeld very casually segues into COVID was created by scientists. Just without even any hesitation, without any even raising of an eyebrow, Gutfeld says that. And of course, we have no evidence for that. That's one of the early conspiracy theories that surged about COVID. Take a look at this bizarre clip on Fox News.
As sick as people were. So I think that's the thing. Now, we can still have these conversations, but the president's largely right. And anyone in his team who doesn't believe it, maybe they should look for other work.
Okay, wrap it up, Greg.
Well, I got to go with Harold on this. I think that we cannot have it both ways. We can't hail Operation Warp Speed and then laugh about the vaccines. Vaccines may not prevent COVID, but they certainly reduce the severity of it. That's what it's there for. But the thing that drives me crazy is that we have to accept that more than likely it was man-made.
Why? Why would we have to accept that?
And when you think about it, it's now the third part of the cold and flu season. I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think you're going to have cold, flu, and COVID. It's like our siblings in sickness got a new little brother, like cold and the flu.
Okay, so he's reading this is, I guess, comedy. Gutfeld's a comedian, so he's reading some of this stuff off of his notes, which is fine, but none of it's funny, and it's also not true. So this has been studied. Always remember, when a conspiracy theory has attached to it like a parasite and they won't even let us investigate, bing, that should set your alarms up. Is that true? Is that true that we can't even investigate? The so-called lab leak hypothesis has been investigated extensively, and there are two versions of the lab leak hypothesis. One, the most weaponized, is COVID was deliberately created as a bioweapon and released to kill people. That's one hypothesis. The slightly less cuckoo hypothesis is it was being studied and it accidentally escaped the lab because someone at the lab infected themselves and then left, and then it spread from there. Those are the two kind of layers. Now, the view of scientists is that both of those are very unlikely right now. The most likely scenario, and again, in science, we talk in terms of probabilities. The most likely scenario is what's called the natural zoonotic jump from animals to humans. The entire idea of lab leak is based initially on Wuhan markets is where we were told it came from, and there's a virology lab in Wuhan. So it's very easy to claim it was from the markets when it was really from the lab because they're both physically in proximity. That's the bulk of why people are talking about this. Now, the truth is there's lots of these types of labs in many places. And that should also kind of make us question whether that makes sense. Now, is it possible that this was being studied in that particular lab and someone was accidentally infected and then they left and then they started spreading it to other people and that's how it entered the human population? It is, of course, possible, but we have been told no one at that lab was sick at the time COVID emerged. But could they be lying? There are claims that that's a lie. Well, you look at the clusters of early COVID cases and you see that there are links to multiple markets in Wuhan around the exact same time. And so that supports the idea that some animals, animal traders, brought the virus in animals to the city, brought those animals to a bunch of the markets in Wuhan, sold in many markets, and spread from there. Now, we could go further on this. At this point, it's completely irresponsible to say, we have to admit the most likely scenario is that this was created by scientists. That is not the most likely scenario based on what we know today. If that changes, I will be the first to tell you.